Good morning and happy Friday. Okay, let's talk about this case that's going up above the Supreme Court right now, that's being argued in front of the Supreme Court about the president and the president having immunity of some sort. This is all happening because the Democrats are not getting their way with their witch hunt against Donald Trump. They're not stopping Donald Trump, and they are trying everything in their power to stop Donald Trump, and it's not working because the American people are standing with him. Just yesterday, he was in New York City, probably one of the most liberal mecca lands of the land. And everyone in that workers' union a lot of them were Democrats and largely voted Democrat, all are standing with President Trump, okay? And they started this when Biden canceled the pipeline and laid off thousands of their brothers and workers, okay? And then the 50-year high inflation, making it completely unaffordable for Americans to live. And all of them are standing with Donald Trump. Everywhere Donald Trump goes, it is lined with thousands and thousands of people. And it shows. All the latest polls have Trump over Biden 3-1. Okay? This is the Democrats stamping their feet and having their meltdowns because they cannot stop him and they cannot turn Americans' view of Donald Trump to what they want it to be. So they are doing everything in their power. Listen to me very carefully. The president of the United States needs to have some sort of immunity, or they will never do anything if they have a fear of being prosecuted once they leave office. Because if that was the case, Democrats, then Obama right now could be brought up on charges of murder for killing Americans in a drone strike. You see what I'm saying? The same for your precious Joe Biden. Joe Biden has to have some certain immunity being the president of the United States, or he as well could be brought up on charges for the shit that happened in Afghanistan, okay? The fact that the Democrats are even pushing this is just absurd to me, okay? Because if you have a president that can face charges once they leave office over decisions that they have to make in crucial moments of national security, they will never act again in the welfare of America. Do you understand that? Do you understand what these Democratic politicians are doing in their ever so lust of getting Donald Trump at all costs because they know the American people are not standing with their bullshit leader, Joe Biden, because they know that Joe Biden has got dementia, and it is obviously at this point, it is painfully obvious this man's got dementia and is not mentally fit to run this country. It's obvious. I mean, look at the last 3.5 years. This country's a fucking hot mess because of Joe Biden and the Democrat Party. But the fact that this is even having to be even argued in front of the Supreme Court just shows you how low down the totem pole the Democrat Party has gotten in their witch hunt of trying to get Donald Trump at all costs. Bogus indictment, bogus trials, bogus hearings, bogus Stormy Daniels. Stormy Daniels has come out and said there was no relationship, no affair. There was none of that shit. Stormy Daniels still owes Donald Trump over $300K for a defamation case that she lost against him. This everlasting, witch hunt of Donald Trump has now led us to the Supreme Court, where the Supreme Court has to actually hear arguments that the president should have some sort of immunity. And for you Democrats out there, that includes Joe Biden. Joe Biden should have some sort of presidential immunity when it comes to decisions that he has to make while being the commander-in-chief. The same way Donald Trump should have somewhat of immunity. The fact that you guys don't even see this because you are so blind by we gotta get Donald Trump, we gotta get him, he's gotta go to jail. All the Democrats want is a conviction behind his name. In this New York case, it's the same thing. They just want to be a convicted felon. He's the first convicted felon to be the president because he's going to be your president. I'm sorry, but he's going to be the president again. I know that bothers you liberals, and I know that upsets you guys down to your fucking panties. I get it, but this is what's going to happen. They just want to be able to shame this man, and they don't care at what cost, even to their own demise. Democrats, you pushing this whole thing of him not having natural immunity while being president, you're actually hurting yourself and your own party at this point. Say we have a terroristic cell and the president is in the war room. Let's use your homie Joe Biden. He's in the war room and he's got to make a split-second decision to save American lives for American sovereignty. And he has to make that decision. Do you think he would make that decision knowing full well that the Republicans can turn around and hem him up on murder charges as soon as he walks out of the White House? Like, do you even see how fucking stupid this is? You probably don't, because in your mind, you've listened to the Rachel Maddows and the Joy Reids and the Cup of Joes every morning tell you how bad Donald Trump is. So you've got that warped into your fucking heads. Even Democrat presidents should have some sort of presidential immunity, you fucking idiots. It's amazing to me that you guys don't see this. Like, you try to do this to Donald Trump, all you're doing is giving a free pass to every Republican politician from this point on to bring charges against any Democratic president that they don't fucking like. Like, it's that simple. And they're only doing this because they don't like Donald Trump. That's it. And they can't turn public opinion away from him. They can't put him in jail. They can't put him up on charges. They can't shame him. I mean, the man keeps getting up and fighting. And I'm sorry, Democrats, but that's the guy that I want. The guy that's got the federal boot of the whole entire weight of the government on his neck, and he is still fucking fighting. That's the guy that I want. I don't want the senile guy who's hiding in the White House and has to read off of teleprompters, and he can't even read the prompters correctly, and his words are bigger than my gosh darn forehead. Every president's going to have some sort of presidential immunity, or they will never, ever, ever make split-second decisions in the war room that could directly affect the health and benefit and safety of America. This is how this works. And the fact that the Democrats have pushed this all the way up to the Supreme Court just shows you how absolutely desperate they are. And it's ridiculous. And the fact that you guys don't see that because your everlasting witch hunt of Donald Trump is mind-blowing to me. It is the highest office of the land. Joe Biden is in the highest office of the land, and he has to be able to make presidential decisions at a split second. And if he's afraid that he's going to get prosecuted by the Republicans, he's not going to make the right decisions when those decisions need to be made. The same with Donald Trump. Obama, same thing. Your precious Obama would be up on murder charges right now for that drone strike that killed Americans. Do you not see that? That's the best part of it, is in your ever so love of hatred of Donald Trump, is that your common sense has gone right out the window. Because what could be done to Donald Trump right now could be done to your candidate tomorrow. You don't see that? That's what politics is all about. And it's gotten to a very nasty point in this world in today's time that instead of getting together to help the American people, all they care about is funneling trillions of our dollars into foreign wars. That's all they care about, because wars make politicians money. The people that aren't struggling in a 50-year high inflation are our politicians. It's time to clean house. These people that are supposedly representing us right now are not representing us. They're representing their own self-interest and their own pocketbooks. And the people that put them into power, they're representing them, not us. And we are funding the whole thing. So the fact that we're even here is amazing to me. But you all need to understand that. The president has to have some sort of immunity at some point. Even Democrat presidents, even Republican presidents. You set the precedent really high here by going after Donald Trump like this, that any other president from this point forward that goes into that White House could be held up on charges for decisions that they have to make, being the head commander-in-chief of this country. And the fact that you guys don't see that is really effing sad. Okay? There's my rant for this morning. Good talk. Oh, and Trump 2024.